Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another GTA 6 video. My name is Saintsfan, and today we're going to be taking a look at the most up-to-date community map. There was a new release a couple of days ago, so hopefully we can take a look at this and see some of the new stuff people have come to discover. One of them being actually where Jason's house is located, and it's of course going to be way down here in the Keys, but we'll take a look at exactly where it will be. So as always, before we do hop into the video, I will leave a link to this website where you can actually go in and look at all this info in the description below. Also, shout out to, I think this is the guy who's doing this, Yanis. If this loads, the website's very laggy. But Yanis here, this is his version of the map. But of course, he has had help with a bunch of people on the mapping Discord. So shout out to all these people. And as always, like some of the other community maps we've taken a look at, the red usually indicates that that's unconfirmed or that's, speculation. Because of course we only have trailer 1 and trailer 2 to go off of. But apparently what they did do is they actually used some of the artwork, like the wallpaper artwork that Rockstar recently released. They actually are using that to help with this map as well. So it's pretty cool, pretty unique. So again, if you want to check it out in a lot more detail, you can click on the link in the description. Now, when you first load this up, there's a lot of little markers around the map. There's so much here. On this left hand side, I'm gonna actually just filter this by confirmed stuff, and then we're actually gonna sort it all by the last edited so we can see what is new, like what is recent. There's still quite a lot of little markers here, but it maybe helps a tiny bit. Big picture, let's just talk about that really quick. If anyone was wondering, this is apparently, or I should say allegedly, 2.5 times the size of GTA 5's map. Things can change as always in development, but from what we know, that's what it's looking like. It's going to be about 2.5 times the size of GTA 5's map. So not anything crazy compared to a map that came out 13 years ago, but still pretty big. Also, of course, one of the big differences, and just taking a look at this image, I think shows it very well. There's going to be a lot of density in the map. Now, hopefully a lot of these buildings are actually accessible, and hopefully we don't have a GTA 5 situation again where you have all these buildings, but then you can't go in them. So it's kind of just lame. But yeah, hopefully a good amount of these buildings are accessible. You can go inside and do stuff inside. So that'll make the world feel a lot bigger if that is the case. And I also want to go to the actual delay announcement that happened a couple of days ago, where Rockstar did say they are excited for players to experience the sprawling state of Leonida and a return to modern day Vice City. So they're using sprawling state of Leonida, indicating, we go back to the map, it actually will be the entire state of Florida. And that's why I think we're still holding on to the hope that we're going to have a panhandle up here. But I will say it is interesting how they're using, the term state of Leonida, because the last time we had a game where there was a state of something, like the state of San Andreas, that was of course in San Andreas. And you had the 3 big cities. You had Los Santos, you had San Fierro, and then you had Las Venturas. Where so far, it seems like really the only big city we're going to have is, of course, Vice City. That's over here on the right. Because if we do just zoom in, Port Gellhorn and Ambrosia, the other 2 cities that we know of, they don't look that big. Ambrosia doesn't look that big from what we know of. No, yes, we've only seen a small amount of it, but it just doesn't look like there's a whole lot going on there. It's sort of similar to like a Sandy Shores-esque. And then Port Gellhorn over here on the left, yeah, there's this whole northern bay part that we don't know a lot about. So maybe, it could just be a bigger city in that regard. But this part we do know of, again, doesn't look very big compared to something like over here in Vice City. So I do sort of wonder if just these 3 cities here, Vice City, Ambrosia, and Port Gellhorn are going to be the main 3, or if there is going to be some other one. I mean, I don't think there would be a secret city like somewhere up north. I feel like if there was another major city, Rockstar would have shown us or teased it a bit. But I guess maybe down the line, maybe that could be one of the things they inevitably add to the map. They could add another giant city if they wanted to. It just feels a bit weird how in their little delay. They're talking about the sprawling state of Leonida, but what we already know, it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't seem like there's really much more going on apart from just the giant Vice City area. One of the big reasons I do just want to bring that point up is because just looking at this map, and now again, we know nothing about what's going to be happening up in this northern part. It does sort of feel like it might, or it could run into the same thing that GTA 5 ran into, where a lot of stuff just happen, at least for online. Maybe for single player it'll be different, but a lot of stuff will just happen in the city part, in this right hand side of the map, maybe a little bit down, because you of course have the keys, and not much will really happen north of the map. Like if Port Gellhorn and Ambrosia up here are just some like medium sized little towns like Paleto Bay or Sandy Shores, like not many people really ended up going there, and it felt kind of bad because it made the map not feel as big as it was. And I think that is a complaint maybe a lot of people are now realizing with this particular map. Hopefully that doesn't pan out, right? And hopefully there's a lot of stuff to do, especially up here in the national park, and maybe there are some more bigger towns, I guess you could say, up in this northern part of the map. And there's even, yeah, the Gloriana, the Georgia states that has been teased. But that's a concern. I just wanted to get the little bit of negativity here out of the way. I don't know. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. Of course, a lot of us are just in negative moods because of the delay. So maybe that is affecting our thoughts. But actually getting to the map here, some cool things you can actually do is you can click on these little waypoint things that are marked here. And you can actually see in some of them, like if I go down here to the keys and we click on this one, which is the blimp, it'll actually show you two things. It'll show you apparently a real life version of it, which is kind of cool, but not, I don't think, super relevant. But it will actually show you from either the trailer or the screenshots what this little waypoint is referring to. So of course down here, we've seen this little blimp, I think in both trailers. We know exactly where it's at in the keys here. It's going to be a little bit on this middle island, a little bit north of it. And you're going to have this blimp looking thing there. I mentioned Jason's house, and if we go up here, sort of where the keys start, this little blue dot is actually Jason's house. And you can click on the image on the right. It'll open up the nice bigger image. That's Jason's house. And if you're wondering, it's actually pretty close. It's pretty centrally located in the southern part of the map. It's at the beginning of the keys. So if you do have to go to the city for something, right, you don't have to drive the entire bridge length and the entire key length. It's also, it shares the ocean or the river or whatever this would be called with the Everglades part of the map. So that's kind of cool. If you wanted to take a boat, you can go there really quickly, it looks like. But if you did want to explore the keys a bit, yeah, you're again right here, and you can go explore the rest of the keys. So I don't know. I actually kind of like how they've figured out this is where Jason's house is. It's in a good location. It even has this little bridge here that does eventually connect with well, sort of connect with the beach area, which is up here. I mean, there's this little dotted thing. I'm not entirely sure what that is. If that's like an underground tunnel, maybe. I guess that probably makes the most sense. But yeah, it's I actually really like that. It's kind of cool how they figured out where Jason's house was. And like I said, over here on the left, you can go and click on these things, and it'll point you to the little locations, because they've added some things. Like we said, this is version 9. Like up here in Mount Kalaga, apparently this is a mountain. Okay, it's in clouds, and they're comparing that to a mountain that looks very similar to it, which apparently is in North Carolina, but they're putting that way up here north of the map. That one's pretty cool. But again, Jason's house. They've added some stuff like the metro station here that you can sort of see in one of the screenshots. It's blurred in the background, but they've added that, and they've figured out where that's at. And if we zoom in here and wait a second, you can see, you know, they've marked that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. If we just zoom out, you can go through this. And again, I'm not going to go through everything. You can click on the link. You want to take a deeper dive into it, but there's some really cool stuff here. Some of them don't have pictures, as you can see. If we go to the cell tower, like there's no picture here to click on. So I'm sure as more info comes out, a lot of this stuff will get better. But I want to actually showcase here what was changed between the last version and this newer version, because there were some pretty notable upgrades here. If we go ahead and zoom in, this is down in the Grassrivers area. There's a couple of things actually here. We'll start with Hamlet or Homestead. I don't think we know exactly what it's called. They initially had this like racetrack over here on the left. The left is the older version. The right is the newer version. But yeah, they just completely removed that. I don't know. I guess they just dreamed of a little racetrack here that didn't exist. So yeah, they removed it. They've also changed some things like those speculative roads in the Grassrivers, and that's where actually the artwork has come in apparently. So it connects now with the Watson Bay area over on the left. You can see it does go through some of the swampy area, which will be interesting to see how, you know, that all works, what kind of roads and stuff that'll be. It also extends a bit further because over on the left, it didn't go as far south. They also moved this like intersection or the off ramp and on ramp a little bit further south as well. Some of the other notable upgrades or differences, I should say, is the Mount Kalaga area. So they've, I guess, extended it a little bit north, as we can see. There's also the one additional mountain that they've added here. You can sort of see, and yeah, it is some speculation, how close this area is. If we just zoom out, actually, you can sort of see how close the Mount Kalaga area is to both Port Gellhorn and Ambrosia and, you know, Lake Leonida there on the right, or like in the middle of the map. Hopefully it doesn't feel as close as this sort of map indicates, but yeah, that's something I just wanted to point out. Getting back to the zoom, they changed the top right of the map a little bit. So they're making it a little bit more like it is IRL. There was this Sarah place, which is like a NASA equivalent in the GTA universe. They've moved it a little bit further south. And again, they've changed the outline of the map of the island. Here's a little bit zoomed out so you can see it maybe a little bit better. They changed a little bit more about this right-hand side of the map as we just sort of zoom down, scroll down here. Some other smaller things like this middle island that connects the city part of Vice City and the beach part. They made it a little bit bigger. They've actually added quite a few new things here in this southern part of Vice City, where it sort of connects with the Homestead area, sort of near the airport. They've added a few more roads, a few more buildings that they've recently discovered. So that's kind of cool. They've made this bridge that connects the northern part of Port Gellhorn to the southern part. They've made that connect finally to some of the roads. So we'll see if that ends up playing out this way, because you can see it is red, that part. So that is some speculation, but I would imagine whatever Rockstar cooks up is something similar. And I don't think they've really touched a whole lot on Ambrosia just because we don't know a whole lot about it. So there were some pretty minor changes, but also some major changes. One of the more disappointing parts about the delay announcement is that we probably aren't going to be getting trailer 3 anytime soon, because I know trailer 3 would have given us a lot more info to work with on this sort of community map. We would have probably learned more maybe about the north of the map, right up here, where we don't know anything, or even just some of the parts on this southern side that we don't know a lot about, like Port Gellhorn. Maybe they could have focused on one of these other two cities and shown us if it's bigger or not than we think. But unfortunately, we probably are going to have to wait a few more months until we get that info. I did find this pretty cool though, to check out the newest version and to see some of the things that they've recently added. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. As always, whenever there is new GTA 6 related content, I will make videos to let you guys know. So hit that subscribe button. But that is going to do it for today's GTA 6 video. New map, pretty cool. Go check it out if you want to in the description. Thank you guys for watching. Please drop the video a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe for more GTA 6 content. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.